Night-Blooming Cereus, the flower that blooms only one night and vanishes before dawn. Part 1. The flower of the night. In the vast world of flowers, there are blossoms that proudly display their beauty beneath the golden light of the sun. Some flowers bloom for days or even weeks, attracting butterflies, bees, and human admiration with their vibrant color and sweet fragrance. Yet among all these flowers, there exists one that is entirely different, a mysterious flower that chooses darkness instead of daylight, silence instead of attention, and the stillness of the night to reveal its most precious beauty. That flower is the Night-Blooming Cereus, often known as the Queen of the Night. Unlike those which symbolize passionate love with their brilliant red petals, the Night-Blooming Cereus does not seek to dazzle the world with extravagant colors. Unlike peonies, it does not bloom with royal elegance and abundance, nor does it possess the intense fragrance of jasmine that fills the entire gardens with perfume. And yet, despite its quiet nature, this flower has captivated human heart for centuries in a way few other flowers ever could. What makes the Night-Blooming Cereus truly extraordinary is the brief and mysterious way it blooms. During the day, the plant appears almost ordinary, even noticed by many people. Its long green stems quietly rest in silence, giving little hint of the miracle that is waiting to happen after sunset. But as darkness slowly covered the sky, the world becomes calm and quiet. Something magical begins to unfold. Late in the evening, the tightly closed bud begins to awaken. Slowly, almost secretly, the white petals start to unfold one by one beneath the moonlight. Hour after hour, the flower continues opening itself to the night, revealing a breathtaking beauty that seems almost unreal. By midnight, the blossom reaches its perfect form, like pure white, soft as silk, glowing gently beneath the darkness like a moon suspended among the green leaves. Its fragrance becomes stronger as the night deepens. The scent is delicate yet unforgettable, filling the air with a feeling of peace, mystery, and dreamlike beauty. Many people who witness the blooming of the Night-Blooming Cereus describe the experience as magical, almost spiritual. It is not simply the sight of a flower opening, it feels like watching nature whisper one of its oldest secrets. Yes, the most heartbreaking and beautiful part of this flower story is how quickly its beauty disappears. As the first light of the dawn begins to appear in the horizon, the magnificent flowers slowly start to close. The petals that looked so alive during the night gradually fall inward once again. By sunrise, the flower has already begun to fade, as though its glorious existence had been nothing more than a dream that lasts only a few precious hours. This fleeting bloom is exactly what makes the Night-Blooming Cereus so deeply symbolic. It reminds people that some of the most beautiful moments in life are also the shortest. Beauty does not always stay forever. Certain experiences, emotions, and memories appear only once, and if we fail to notice them in time, they may disappear forever. In many cultures, the flower has become a symbol of fragile beauty, temporary happiness, and rare opportunities. Its brief light teaches people to appreciate the present moment instead of always waiting tomorrow. Just like the flower itself, many precious things in life cannot be held onto forever. A meaningful conversation, a moment of love, a peaceful night, or even truth itself. They bloom quietly, shine brightly for a short time, and then slowly fade away. But the flower blooms only in darkness. It has also become connected to mystery and solitude. There is something deeply poetic about flowers that choose the silent hour of the night to reveal itself. While most flowers compete for attention beneath the sun, the Night-Blooming Cereus waits patiently for the world to become quiet. It blooms not for crowd, but for those willing to stay awake long enough to witness its miracle. Their quiet nature gives the flower a sense of purity and emotional depth. It feels almost untouched by the noise and chaos of the modern life. Its white petal glowing in the darkness resembles a symbol of hope, calmness, and serenity hidden within life uncertainty. For many people, the night-blooming cereus represents loneliness as well. It blooms alone in the darkness, unseen by most of the world. In this way, the flower mirrors certain human emotion, the hidden sadness people carry silently, the dream they keep to themselves, and the moment of beauty that exists even in solitude. And perhaps that is why the flower continues to fascinate so many hearts across generations. Its beauty is not loud or permanent. Instead, it is delicate, temporary, and deeply emotional. It reminds us that not everything valuable must last forever to be meaningful. Some people wait years just to witness a night-blooming cereus bloom for a single night. Families gather quietly in gardens after sunset, watching patiently as the petals slowly open beneath the moonlight. Cameras are prepared, lights are dimmed, and conversations become softer, as though everyone instinctively understands that they are about to witness something stark and bright. In the world where people constantly rush through life, the night-blooming cereus invite us to slow down. It teaches patience, it teaches appreciation. Most importantly, it teaches us to notice beauty even when it appears only briefly. Because sometimes the most unforgettable things in life are not the ones that stay forever. Sometimes they are the ones that bloom only once in the middle of the night and disappear before dawn. Part 2. The origin and characteristic of the night-blooming cereus. The night-blooming cereus, scientifically known as Epiphyllum oxypetalum, is one of the most mysterious and fascinating flowers in the natural world. Although it belongs to the cactus family, the extraordinary plant looks completely different from the dry, thorn-covered cactus that many people imagine when they hear the word cactus. Instead of sharp spines and rough texture, the night-blooming cereus possess long, smooth green stems that appear soft, elegant, and full of life. Its appearance reflects gentleness rather than harshness, giving the plant unique beauty that immediately separates it from other members of the cactus family. The plant thrives especially well in the tropical and subtropical climates, where warmth and humidity create ideal conditions for growth. Unlike desert cacti that survive under intense sunlight and extreme dryness, the night-blooming cereus prefer a more balanced environment with indirect light and moist air. Its stem grow rapidly and gracefully, often stretching outward in the wide, flowing shape that resemble large green leaves rather than conditioned cactus branches. The origin of the night-blooming cereus are believed to trace back to the region of Central America and South America. In these tropical forests, the plant naturally grew attached to trees or rocky surface, absorbing moisture from the humid air around it. Over time, people became fascinated by its rare nighttime bloom and began cultivating it in gardens around the world. Eventually, the flower spread out many parts of Asia, where it became especially loved in countries such as Vietnam, China, Thailand, and Japan. In Vietnam particularly, the night-blooming cereus had earned a special place in the heart of many people because of its pure beauty and mysterious nature. For generations, families have grown the plant in the home garden and courtyard, patiently waiting for the magical night when the flower finally blooms. Part of the flower charm lies in its appearance. The night-blooming cereus usually bloom in a stunning pure white color that glows softly beneath the darkness of night. Its petals are long, delicate, and layered beautifully around the center of the flower, almost resembling soft rays of moonlight spreading outward into the darkness. When fully open, the blossom can become surprisingly large, sometimes reaching over 20 centimeters in the diameter, creating an elegant and almost surreal image. The white petals symbolize purity and calmness and peace. Under moonlight, the flower appears almost luminous, and although it carries its own quiet light within the darkness. This growing effect is one of the reasons why people often describe the Night-Blooming Cereus as magical or heavenly. Beyond its visual beauty, the flower is also admired for its fragrance. When the bloom opens during the late night, it releases a soft and captivating scent into the air. Unlike flowers with overpowering perfume, the fragrance of the Night-Blooming Cereus is gentle and refined. It is subtle enough to feel calming rather than overwhelming, yet memorable enough to leave a lasting impression on anyone who experiences it. The scent creates a peaceful atmosphere that transforms the surrounding environment. Gardens become quieter, the air feels softer, and the night itself seems more tranquil. Many people describe the fragrance as soothing to the soul, capable of creating feelings of serenity and emotional comfort. It is the kind of fragrance that encourages silence and reflection rather than excitement or energy. However, what truly makes the Night-Blooming Cereus extraordinary is not only for its beauty or fragrance, but the incredible short time it exists in full bloom. The life cycle of the flower is a lesson in patience and impermanence. A single bud may take several weeks to develop slowly on stem day after day. The bud grows larger when people wait quietly for sight that flower is preparing to bloom. Then, on one special evening, the miracle finally begins. Its darkness falls, the flowers slowly start to open. Hour by hour, the petals unfold carefully beneath the night sky until the blossom reaches its full beauty around midnight. At this moment, the flower appears absolutely perfect, elegant, fragrant, radiant, and alive. Yes, this perfection not lasts only for a few short hours. As dawn approaches, the first sunlight touches the horizon. The petals gradually begin to close again. By morning, the flowers start to wilt, and its brief moment of glory fades away almost completely. A bloom that took weeks to prepare may disappear within a single night. This fragile existence is one of the reasons why so many people consider the Night-Blooming Cereus a miracle of nature. The flower reminds us that beauty does not need to last forever to be meaningful. In fact, its temporary nature is exactly what makes it so precious. If the flower bloomed every day and lasts for weeks like many of other flowers, perhaps people would no longer view it with such a wonder. But because it appears so briefly, every blooming becomes a rare and unforgettable event. Family gather late at night to witness it. Friends call one another exactly when a flower begins to open. Cameras are prepared, conversation becomes shorter, and people stay awake together simply to admire a single flower blooming beneath the stars. There is something deeply emotional about this experience. Watching the Night-Blooming Cereus bloom feels like witnessing a secret hidden within nature, a quiet reminder that some of life's most beautiful moments arrive unexpectedly and disappear quickly. The flower's short life also carries symbolic meaning in many cultures. It often represents fragile beauty, fleeting happiness, rare opportunity, and the importance of appreciating the present moment. Thus, like the bloom itself, certain appearances in life cannot be repeated once they are gone. In a world where people constantly rush forward and rarely slow down, the Night-Blooming Cereus teaches patience. It teaches people to wait, observe, and appreciate beauty when it exists. While it exists, the flower does not bloom loudly or demand attention. Instead, it quietly reveals itself only to those willing to stay awake long enough to witness its miracle. Perhaps that is why the Night-Blooming Cereus continues to fascinate people across the generation. It is not simply a flower, but a symbol of mystery, impermanence, and quiet beauty. Its existence feels almost unreal, as if nature itself created a flower that bloomed for only one night to remind humanity that more precious things in life are often the most temporary. Part 3. Why does the night-blooming cereus only bloom at night? Many people have wondered why the night-blooming cereus choose to bloom in the darkness of night instead of beneath the bright sunlight like almost most other flowers. At first glance, it may seem mysterious or even magical, as though the flower simply prefers silence and moonlight over daytime warmth. However, behind this breathtaking behavior lies a remarkable scientific explanation shaped by millions of years of biological adaptation and evolution. In nature, every living organism develops certain characteristics that help it survive in its environment. Flowers are no exception. Their colors, shape, scents, blooming times, and even the way they attract insects are all connected to survival and reproduction. The night-blooming cereus evolved in tropical environments when nighttime pollinators play a major role in plant ability to reproduce successfully. Unlike flowers that depend on bees, butterflies, or birds during the daytime, the night-blooming cereus remain mainly on the nocturnal pollinator, especially moths and certain night-active insects. The creatures become active after sunset, flying through forests and gardens beneath the darkness while searching for food and nectar. Because of this, the flower gradually adapted over countless generations to bloom during the hour when the pollinators are most active. From an evolutionary perspective, blooming at night became a perfect strategy. If the flower opened during the daytime, it might not attract the special insect capable of pollinating it efficiently. Instead, by waiting until darkness falls, the flower ensures that its nectar, fragrance, and pollen become available exactly when nocturnal insects begin their search. This synchronization between flower and pollinator is one of the nature's most fascinating examples of biological harmony. The process itself feels almost theatrical. For many days or even weeks. The flower bud remains tightly closed, quietly prepared in silence during the daylight hours. Nothing dramatic seems to happen, but as evening arrives and temperatures begin to cool, the flower slowly awakens. Little by little, the petal begins to unfold beneath the night sky, as though the plant has been patiently waiting for the darkness to arrive. By midnight, the night-blooming cereus reaches a full glory. Its enormous white blossom open wide, releasing fragrance into the cool air and inviting nighttime pollinators to approach. During these few precious hours, moths and insects are naturally drawn toward the flower, having carried pollen from bloom to bloom and allowing the plant to continue its life cycle. One of the most fascinating details about the night-blooming cereus is its pure white color. This color is not accidental at all. In fact, it is another brilliant adaptation developed by nature over millions of years. At night, visibility becomes extremely limited. Brightly colored flowers such as red, orange, or purple become difficult for nocturnal insects to notice in darkness. White, however, reflects moonlight far more effectively than darker color. Even in dim nighttime conditions, the glowing white petals stand out clearly against the surrounding darkness. Under moonlight, the flower almost appears luminous as though it carries its own light. This makes it easy for most and night insects to locate the bloom from the distance. In a way, the flower transforms itself into a natural beacon within the darkness. Its fragrance also plays an important role. During nighttime, the scent of the night-blooming cereus becomes significantly stronger and more noticeable. The cool evening air allows fragrant molecules to travel more effectively, spreading the scent throughout the surrounding environment. This delicate but powerful aroma acts almost like a signal sent into the darkness, guiding nocturnal pollinators toward the flower. Interestingly, many night-blooming flowers around the world share similar traits. They often bloom in pale or white color, releasing stronger scent after sunset and open during the hour when nocturnal insects are active. These shared characteristics reveal how deeply connected flowers are to the ecosystems around them. Every detail of the night-blooming cereus, from its blooming schedule to its color and fragrance, is a part of an incredibly refined survival strategy created by nature itself. Nothing about flower is random. Its characteristic is this because it increases the plant chance of survival over countless generations. And just why science explains the biology reason behind the flower behavior, humans often see something much more emotional and poetic within it. There is something deeply moving about a flower that spends days quietly preparing itself only to bloom for a few brief hours in the middle of the night. It feels almost symbolic, like a reminder that some of life's most beautiful moments are also the most temporary. The night-blooming cereus does not seek attention beneath the sun. It does not compete with brightly colored flowers in crowded gardens. Instead, it waits patiently for the world to become silent. Only when darkness covers the sky does it finally reveal its true beauty. This creates an atmosphere that feels almost dreamlike. Late at night, when most people sleep, the flowers slowly open beneath the moonlight. The air becomes cooler and quieter. Shadows soften across the garden, and the glowing white petals appear almost unreal against the darkness. In this moment, the flower seems less like an ordinary plant and more like a hidden miracle of nature. Perhaps that is why people who witness the bloom often describe it as unforgettable. Families stay awake late into the night waiting for the flower to open. Some prepare cameras to capture the rare event, while others simply sit quietly nearby, watching in silence as the petals unfold hour by hour. The experience becomes more than observing a flower. It's become a moment of connection with nature itself. The flower blooming time also adds to its emotional power. A bloom that took weeks to prepare may disappear before sunrise. By morning, the petals begin to close and wilt, leaving behind only the memory of the night before. This temporary beauty mirrors many aspects of human life. Certain moments happen only once. A conversation, a feeling, a memory, or a chance encounter. If people are not present enough to notice them, this moment disappears forever. The night-blooming cereus reminds to appreciate beauty while it exists instead of assuming it will always remain. In many ways, the flower represents patience, mystery, impermanence, and quite elegant. Its bloom is not for applause or admiration, but simply because that is nature. It follows its own rhythm independent of the busy world around it. And perhaps that is what makes the night-blooming cereus so extraordinary. Behind its delicate petal lies millions of years of evolution, survival, and adaptation. But beyond the science, and the flower also carry a kind of silent poetry. The image of fragile white blossom waiting patiently through long days to shine for a single magical night beneath the stars. Part 4. The Night-Blooming Cereus in culture and symbolism. For centuries, the Night-Blooming Cereus has been more than simply a flower. Across different cultures and generations, it has become a powerful symbol of fragile beauty, fleeting moments, and the mysterious emotional depth hidden within life itself. While many flowers are admired for their colors, fragrance, or long-lasting blossom, the Night-Blooming Cereus is remembered for something entirely different. The way it bloomed brilliantly for only a single night before fading away with the arrival of dawn. Because of this rare and temporary existence, people often compare the flower to the most precious experience and human-like beautiful moment that cannot last forever. The flower has become a symbol of youth, love, dream, memory, and one is a lifetime encounter. Just like the bloom itself, this moment may appear suddenly, shine instantly for brief periods of life, and then disappear before we can fully realize how valuable they truly were. Many people see the Night-Blooming Cereus as a reminder of those. Youth is often filled with the energy, hope, beauty, and possibility, yet it passes more quickly than people expect. One day, a person looks back and realizes that the year that one felt endless vanished almost as quietly as the flower blooming in the night. In this way, the flower reflects the bittersweet nature of growing older, beautiful, unforgettable, but impossible to hold on to forever. Others compare the flower to love. Some relationships enter the person's life suddenly and transform everything for a short time. Even if they do not last forever, their beauty remains unforgettable. But meaningful story can leave behind memory that stay alive for decades. Much like the Night-Blooming Cereus, certain forms of love become more precisely because they were temporary. The flower is also often connected to dream and missed opportunities. Life sometimes offers moments that appear only once, the chance to follow a dream, expect feeling, and or miss someone important. If those moments pass unnoticed, they may never turn again. The Night-Blooming Cereus quietly remind people to cherish the present because not every beautiful thing in life waits forever. In many Asian cultures, especially throughout East and Southeast Asia, the Night-Blooming Cereus carry deeper spiritual and emotional meaning. The flower is often associated with purity, elegance, humility, and inner beauty. Unlike flowers that bloom boldly beneath the bright sun and attract attention from everyone around them, the Night-Blooming Cereus chooses the silence and darkness. It does not compete for admiration during the noisy hour of the day. Instead, it patiently waits for the world to become quiet before revealing its true beauty. This quiet nature has made the flower a symbol of people who are gentle, thoughtful, and deeply emotional. Many individuals see themselves reflected in flowers, especially those who live quietly, avoid attention, and express their emotion inwardly rather than outwardly. The flower seems to embody the beauty of introvert souls, soft, calm on the surface, yet rich with depth and emotion within. In literature and art, the Night-Blooming Cereus had inspired countless poets, musicians, painters, and writers. Artists are often drawn to things that feel mysterious, emotional, and temporary, and few flowers capture the quality as perfectly as the Queen of the Night. Poets frequently use the flower as a metaphor for hidden emotion or silent love. The image of flower blooming quietly in darkness often represents feelings that cannot easily be spoken aloud. A person may carry love, loneliness, hope, or sadness deep within themselves, revealing those emotions only during rare and vulnerable moments. Much like the flower revealing its beauty only at midnight, musicians and songwriters have also found inspiration in the Night-Blooming Cereus because of its emotional symbolism. The flower naturally evokes feelings of nostalgia, belonging, tenderness, and impermanence. Songs inspired by the flower often explore themes such as fleeting romance, memories of the past, solitude, or the quiet beauty hidden within sadness. Painters, meanwhile, are fascinated by the visual poetry of the flower itself, a glowing white blossom opening beneath the darkness of night create an image that feels almost dreamlike. The contrast between pure white petal and deep midnight shadow give the flower an almost spiritual appearance, as though it belongs somewhere between reality and fantasy. In some traditions, the blooming of the Night-Blooming Cereus is even considered a lucky or sacred event. Families gather late at night to witness the flower opening, treating the moment with excitement and reverence. The bloom becomes more than a natural phenomenon, it becomes a shared emotional experience that brings people together. There is also a quiet philosophy hidden within the symbolism of the night. Modern life often encourages people to pursue permanent success, permanent beauty, permanent happiness. Yet the Night-Blooming Cereus teaches the opposite lesson. It reminds that beauty does not need to last forever to be meaningful. In fact, many of the most unforgettable moments in life are unforgettable precisely because they are temporary. A sunset lasts only minutes, a song ends after a few moments, childhood disappears with time, a meaningful conversation may happen only once, even life itself is temporary. The Night-Blooming Cereus reflects this truth with extraordinary elegance. It blooms is short-lived, but the memory of witnessing it remains deeply emotional and lasting. The flower teaches people to appreciate experience while they exist instead of assuming they will always remain. There is something profoundly human about this lesson. People often fail to notice beauty when it becomes ordinary or permanent, but when something exists only briefly, it suddenly becomes precious. The rarity of the Night-Blooming Cereus bloom transforms it into an event people wait for patiently and remember for years. Perhaps that is why the flower continues to fascinate humanity generation after generation. It is not only admired because it is beautiful, but it reflects the emotional reality of life itself. The flower blooms quietly, shines brilliant for a few magical hours, and then disappears before dawn. Thus lies certain chapter of human existence, and yet even after petals glow and the fragrance fades into the morning air, the memory of the flower remains alive within the heart of those who witness it. That is the true power of the Night-Blooming Cereus. It reminds us that not all the beauty is meant to stay forever. Sometimes the most meaningful things in life are the ones that appear briefly, touch our heart deeply, and vanish quietly into moment, leaving behind the feeling so beautiful that never completely forget it. Part 5. The moment of blooming, a ritual of nature. For many flower lovers, waiting for the Night-Blooming Cereus to bloom feels less like observing a plant and more like participating in a sacred ritual created by nature itself. Unlike ordinary flowers that bloom openly during the day for everyone to see, the Night-Blooming Cereus transforms its blooming into a rare and emotional event, something quiet, intimate, and unforgettable. People who have experienced it often say that the flower does not simply bloom. Instead, it slowly reveals itself in a way that makes time seem to pause for a few precious hours. On night that the flower is expected to bloom, there is usually a feeling anticipation long before darkness fully arrives. Throughout the day, people quietly check the lack of unopened bird, noticing subtle change that suggest the magical moment is approaching. The tightly closed flower appear fuller, softer, and more alive than before, as though it is patiently prepared for something extraordinary. As evening slowly settles over the world, the atmosphere begins to change. The sunlight fades into soft shades of orange and blue. The air becomes cooler and calmer. The garden, courtyard, and balcony where the night-blooming cereus grows, people begin gathering quietly nearby. Some bring chairs and sit patiently beneath dim yellow light. Others choose to wait beneath the pale glows of the moon. Conversation becomes softer, almost instinctively, as though everyone understands that the night deserves silence. At first, nothing dramatic happens. The flower bud remains close, appearing still and motionless against the darkness. Just if someone watches carefully enough, they begin to notice tiny changes. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the outer petal begins to loosen. The flower seems to awaken little by little, like a living creature gently opens its eyes after a long sleep. Hour after hour, this transformation continues. The petals gradually unfold outward in elegant layers, revealing more of the brilliant white bloom hidden within. Unlike flowers that open quickly or suddenly, the night-blooming cereus bloom with remarkable slowness and grace. Watching it feels almost meditative. Every small movement becomes meaningful because it happens so gently and naturally. Many people describe this experience as deeply peaceful. There is no loud sound, no crowd, no distraction. Only the soft movement of the petal opening beneath the night sky. The silence surrounding the flower somehow make the moment feel even more powerful. As the bloom opens wider, its fragrance slowly begins to spread through the air. The scent is delicate yet captivating, sweet without being overwhelming, soft without disappearing completely. It drips quietly through the night breeze, transforming the surrounding space into something calm and dreamlike. The fragrance seems capable of slowing the mind down, encouraging people to breathe more deeply and simply remain present in the moment. Under moonlight, the flower becomes breathtakingly beautiful. Its pure white petals appear almost luminous against the darkness, glowing softly like a small moon hidden among green stems and leaves. The contrast between light and shadow gives the flower an almost unreal appearance, as though it belongs to another world entirely. For many people, that is the moment they never forget. It is difficult to explain why witnessing the night-blooming cereus bloom feels so emotional. Scientifically, it is simply a flower opening, yet emotionally, it feels much deeper than that. Watching the bloom unfold slowly over several hours creates a sense of connection to time, nature, and life itself. Perhaps it is because modern life moves so quickly, people rush from one responsibility to another, rarely stopping long enough to notice quiet moments around them. They pass filled with noise, screen, deadlines, and distractions. The night-blooming cereus offers the opposite experience. It invites people to slow down completely. To witness the flower bloom, one must wait patiently. There is no shortcut, no fast-forward button. The flower opens according to its own rhythm, unaffected by human schedules or expectation. In that way, it gently teaches patience and presence. Many who sit beside the flower late into the night begin reflecting on their own life. The silent encourage thoughtfulness, the gradual unfolding of the petal feels almost symbolic, like watching hidden emotion or forgotten memories slowly rise to the surface. Some people compare the experience to meditation, others describe it as spiritual. The stillness of the night, the soft fragrance in the air, and the quiet beauty of the flower combine to create an atmosphere unlike ordinary daily life. For a few brief hours, the world feels slower, calmer, and somehow more meaningful. Families who have grown the night-blooming cereus for years often treat the blooming night as a special event. Children stay awake past bedtime, excited to witness the rare flower opening. Parents and grandparents gather nearby, sharing stories while waiting patiently together. Cameras are prepared, but even photographs rarely capture the emotional beauty of seeing the bloom in person. The experience becomes not only about the flower itself but also about human connection. People gather together not for entertainment or celebration, but simply to witness something beautiful and temporary. In a world filled with constant stimulation, this quiet gathering around a single flower feels almost sad. And perhaps that is why many people describe the blooming of the Night-Blooming Cereus as a ritual of nature. A ritual is not simply an event, it is an experience filled with meaning, emotion, and presence. The blooming of the flower carries all of the quality. It happens slowly, requires patience, and reward those willing to stay awake long enough to witness it. Then, as quietly as it began, the miracle starts to fade, and dawn approaches. The petals slowly begins closing one again. The magnificent bloom that looked so alive at midnight gradually lost its energy beneath the first light of morning. By sunrise, the flowers had already started withering. As though the night's beauty has been only a dream, this ending is both breathtaking and beautiful. The flower reminds people that some experiences are meaningful and priceless because they do not last forever. If the bloom remained open for weeks, perhaps it would no longer feel magical. A short existence transforms it into something unforgettable. Many who witness the Night-Blooming Cereus bloom say they never completely forget the feeling. It is not merely the memories of seeing a flower open, it is the memory of sitting quietly beneath the night sky, feeling time move slowly, breathing in the fragrance of the darkness and realizing how beautiful silence can be. In the rare midnight hour, nature seems to whisper something gentle but important, that beauty does not always arrive loudly, that meaningful moments often happen quietly, and that some of the most unforgettable experience in life bloom only briefly before disappearing into memory. Part 6. The Night-Blooming Cereus and the Philosophy of Life. Perhaps the reason people love the Night-Blooming Cereus is not only because of its beauty, but because of the quiet life lesson hidden within the flower itself. Beneath its delicate white petal and mysterious midnight bloom lies a deeper meaning that speaks directly to the human heart. The Night-Blooming Cereus teaches people about patience, preparation, and impermanence, and the true beauty of the meaningful moments. Unlike many flowers that bloom frequently and remain beautiful for days, the Night-Blooming Cereus spends a long time preparing for a single night of glory. For weeks, sometimes even longer, the flower grows silently in the background. Its buds slowly develop day after day without demanding attention or admiration for anyone around them. During this time, nothing dramatic appeared to happen. The plant simply continued growing quietly, gathering energy and waiting quite patiently for the right moment to bloom. And then when the time finally arrived, the flower opened with breathtaking beauty beneath the darkness of the night, revealing a moment so extraordinary that people remember it long after the petals fade. There is something deeply symbolic about this process because it mirrors the reality of human life. In life, the most meaningful achievements often require long periods of silent preparation. Success rarely happens overnight, even if it appears sudden to the outside world. Behind every beautiful accomplishment are usually years of effort, struggle, discipline, failure, patience, and quiet preservation. Just like the Night-Blooming Cereus preparing silently for before blooming, people also spend much of their lives growing in ways others cannot immediately see. A student studies for years before achieving their dream career. An artist practices endlessly before creating a masterpiece. A musician spends thousands of hours perfecting their craft before performing beautifully on stage. A person may carry pain, hope, and determination silently for years before finally reaching meaningful turning point in life. The flower reminds us that unseen preparation is never meaningless. Even during moments when life feels slow or invisible, growth is still happening quietly beneath the surface. Modern society often celebrates only visible success, the final achievement, the applause, the recognition. The Night-Blooming Cereus teaches the different perspective. It teaches that beauty and meaning are not created instantly. They are built patiently over time through silent endurance and trust in the process. Another powerful lesson hidden within the flower is the importance of timing. Blooming cereus do not bloom randomly. It waits carefully for the right condition, the darkness and the right moment. Only then does it fully reveal itself. Human life often follow a similar rhythm. Many people become discouraged because they compare their journey to others. They feel pressure to succeed quickly, to achieve more in their time, or to reach certain milestones according to society expectation. But the Night-Blooming Cereus reminds that every life unfolds differently. Some trees bloom early, others require years of waiting. Some people discover their purpose young, others find later in life. The flower quietly teaches that meaningful things cannot always be rushed. Sometimes life requires patience before beauty fully appears. The Night-Blooming Cereus also reflects the fragile nature of beauty moment. Its bloom lasts only for few short hours before fading away with the sunlight. Yes, despite its brief existence, the flower leaves a powerful emotional impact on everyone to witness it. This teaches an important truth about life. Beauty does not need to last forever to become meaningful. In fact, some of the most unforgettable experiences are unforgettable precisely because they are temporary. A sunset lasts only minutes. Yes, people travel across the world to watch one. Childhood disappear quickly. Yes, its memory remains deeply emotional. A meaningful conversation may last only one night but stay in someone's heart forever. A brief moment of love or happiness can influence an entire lifetime. The Night-Blooming Cereus reminds people that impermanence is not something to fear. Instead, it is often what gives life its emotional depth and value. If beautiful moments last forever, perhaps people will stop appreciating them. The flower blooms only one night, and because of that, people stay awake to witness it. They gather quietly, wait patiently, and treasure every moment. They understand the bloom will soon disappear. This lesson applies deeply to human relationships as well. Many people become so busy worrying about the future that they forgot to appreciate the present. They assume there will always be more time, more opportunity to speak kindly, to express love, to spend time with family, to enjoy simple moments of peace. But life, like the Night-Blooming Cereus, is fragile and temporary. Certain moment comes only once. Certain people enter our life for only a season. Certain opportunity disappear if not embraced at the right time. The flower gently reminds to appreciate what we have while it still exists. There is also a quiet humility within the Night-Blooming Cereus that many people admire deeply. The flower does not bloom loudly or seek constant attention. It grows quietly in the shadows, unnoticed by many during the daytime. Just when the right moment arrives, it reveals extraordinary beauty without arrogance or pride. It reflects a profound philosophy about true beauty and true value. Real beauty does not always need recognition. True depth often exists quietly. Meaningful people are not always the loudest one in the room. Some of the most remarkable individuals live simple, quiet lives filled with kindness, wisdom, and emotional depth that others may overlook at first glance. Like the flower blooming silently at midnight, their beauty reveals itself gently over time. The Night-Blooming Cereus also teaches people about presence. To truly witness the flower bloom, one must slow down and remain fully present in the moment. The bloom cannot be rushed, replayed, or postponed. It happens once, slowly, quietly, beneath the darkness of the night. In today's fast-moving world, this lesson feels especially important. People often rush through life distracted by worries, responsibility, technology, and less noise. They rarely pause long enough to fully experience the present moment. Yes, the flower reminds that some of the life-enriched beauty exists in stillness, silence, and attention. Watching the night-blooming cereus bloom become more than observing nature, it becomes a meditation on life itself. The flowers spend weeks preparing in silence for one unforgettable night. People spend years growing before reaching meaningful moment. The flower bloom briefly but leaves a lasting moment. Human experience may also be temporary yet emotionally eternal. And perhaps that is the flower's greatest lesson of all. A meaningful life is not measured only by how long something lasts, but by how deeply it touches the heart of others. A single night can become unforgettable. A single moment can change a person forever. A flower that blooms for only a few hours can still move countless souls. That is the quiet wisdom of the night-blooming cereus, a flower that blooms briefly, yet leaves behind a beauty that lingers far beyond the night itself. Part 7. The Night-Blooming Cereus, a beauty that does not belong to the daylight. In a modern world that moves endlessly fast, the Night-Blooming Cereus feels like a gentle reminder that some form of beauty can only be discovered when people slow down enough to truly notice them. Today, life is full with noise, deadlines, screen, and constant movement. People rush from one responsibility to another, when often without giving themselves time to pause, breathe, or simply exist quietly in the present moment. They pass quickly and many beautiful things are overlooked because human attention is always focused on what comes next. Yet somewhere in the silence of the night, while most of the world sleep, the night blooming seriously quietly bloom. It does not compete with the brightness of the sun. It does not seek admiration in crowded daylight. It does not try to overpower the beauty of the other flowers. Instead, it chooses darkness, it chooses silence, it chooses solitude. And perhaps that is exactly what makes it so unforgettable. Unlike flowers that open proudly beneath the daytime sky, the night-blooming cereus belongs to another world entirely, a world of moonlight, stillness, and quiet emotion. Its beauty is not loud or demanding. It reveals itself softly, patiently, and only for those willing to stay awake long enough to witness it. There is something deeply poetic about this joy. In many ways, the flower seems to reject the modern obsession with attention and visibility. It does not bloom for applause. It does not bloom for crowds. It blooms simply because that is its nature. And in doing so, it quietly teaches one of life's most profound lessons. Not everything meaningful needs to be seen by everyone. Some of the most beautiful experiences happen in silence. Some of the deepest emotions exist privately within the human heart. Some of the most unforgettable moments occur when the world is asleep and everything becomes still. The night-blooming cereus embodies this quiet philosophy perfectly. When the flower begins to bloom late at night, the atmosphere around it changes completely. The noise of the day fades away, streets become quieter, conversations soften. The cool air of the evening creates a sense of calmness and feels almost dark. Then, slowly beneath the pale moonlight or the glow of the dim yellow lamp, the flower mouth opens. Its white petals unfold gently against the darkness, glowing with beauty that feels almost unreal. The surrounding silence makes the moment even so more emotional. There are no dramatic sound, no celebration, no urgency, only the soft fragrance of the flower drifting through the night air and quiet miracle of nature unfolding in real time. This beauty feels different from ordinary beauty. It carries sadness with it, tenderness within it, loneliness within it. and that at the same time it feels deeply peaceful. Perhaps that is why so many people feel emotionally connected to the Night-Blooming Cereus. The flower reflects emotions that are difficult to explain with words alone. It mirrors the quiet part of human existence, the thought people keep hidden, the memory that return late at night, the feeling that grows stronger during moments of solitude. The flower seems to understand that beauty and sadness often exist together. Its bloom is breathtaking precisely because it is temporary. People know, even while admiring it, that the moment will not last. A midnight passes and the hour moves toward dawn. The flowers slowly begin to its farewell. The petals that look so alive beneath the darkness gradually lose their energy as the first light of morning approaches. Then, almost silent, the plume disappears. By sunrise, the magnificent flower has begun to fade, as though the night itself had carried it away like a dream. And perhaps that is the most emotional part of all. The Night-Blooming Cereus remind people that many of life's most meaningful moments are brief. They appear suddenly, touch the heart deeply, and vanish before we fully prepare to let them go. A childhood memory, a conversation with someone we love, a beautiful night with friends, a fleeting romance, a peaceful moment beneath the stars. These experiences rarely last forever, yet even after they disappear, their emotional impact remains alive inside us for years. The flower teaches people not to measure beauty by duration alone. Something does not need to last forever to become unforgettable. In fact, the temporary nature of the Night-Blooming Cereus is exactly what gives it such extraordinary emotional power. If the flower bloomed every day, people might stop appreciating it, but because its beauty exists only briefly, every blooming becomes precious. People stay awake late into the night just to witness it. Family gather quietly beside the flower. Photographs are taken carefully. Conversation becomes softer. Everyone understands and consciously or unconsciously that they are witnessing something rare. The flower also offers an important lesson about individuality. The Night-Blooming Cereus do not follow the same rhythm as other flowers. While most blossoms open confidently beneath the sun, each through a complete different path. It blooms according to its own timing, its own purpose, and its own nature. There is courage in that quiet difference. Human beings often feel pressure to live according to society expectation, to move quickly, to compete constantly, to seek recognition, and to follow the same path as everyone else. But the Night-Blooming Cereus reminds people that there is beauty in following one's own rhythm. Not everyone is meant to shine loudly in daylight. Some souls are quieter, some hearts are more reflective, some form of beauty reveal themselves only in stillness. The flower proves that gentleness can be powerful, silence can be meaningful, and quiet beauty can leave the deepest impression of all. In many ways, the Night-Blooming Cereus feels almost like a living poem written by nature itself. Every part of its existence carries symbolism. The darkness is true, the silence surrounding it, the shortness of its bloom, and the unforgettable emotional effect it leaves behind. To remind people to slow down, to notice the present moment, to appreciate the temporary beauty, to understand that life's most meaningful experiences are often fragile. And perhaps more importantly, it reminds that not every beautiful thing is meant to stay forever. Something enters our life only briefly, yet stays completely. The Night-Blooming Cereus blooms for only one night, but the memory witnessing it can remain in a person's heart forever. Its beauty lingers long after the petals close, like the memory of a dream that fades with the morning but never truly disappears. Because sometimes the most beautiful things in life are not things that last longest. Sometimes they are the moment that touch our soul more deeply, even if they exist for only a single night beneath the quiet darkness of the stars.